Hey there guys, welcome to the first ever film class review, and today we'll be looking at Bohemian Rhapsody. The Queen biopic, directed by Bryan Singer, starring Rami Malek, Lucy Boynton, Gwilym Lee, Ben Hardy, and many more. Let's just get straight to the point. This film was an experience. It felt grand. And I'll get to the reason about that in a second, but let's take a look at the good first. I mean, this cast was solid. I mean, right off the top, we had Aidan Gillen, who gave a very good performance. Ben Hardy just fell into his role. Mike Myers was terrific. But the real star of the show was Rami Malek. He was Oscar worthy. He was brilliant. He became Freddie Mercury. There is no other way of putting it. He was Freddie Mercury. The cinematography was great, and so was the blocking. The way in which the director staged and blocked this film was terrific. It was just done great. It felt almost like a dance, the way they walked around. It felt very, very well choreographed. And I'm not talking about the dancing, I'm simply talking about the way the film was blocked. Speaking more to the cinematography, the concert scenes were handled brilliantly. I'm not going to spoil the movie, but there's this one shot where the camera pans over an entire concert and shows the entirety of the audience, and you get floored in that moment. It just felt grand. I'll repeat this word a few times. It felt grand. The film also built a certain momentum. It carried a cadence towards it where it started off slow, and I'll talk about the slow in a minute, but it started off slow and it built and built and built and built to the smooth sailing that we had for the entirety of the second act and towards the third act. But yeah, the music in this film, the music was done brilliantly. I'm not sure if Rami Malek actually performed the music or if they got some cuts from actual concerts from back in the Queen days, but let me tell you, it felt like you were actually watching a concert. Everybody, Gwilym Lee, Ben Hart, they all did a very, very good job. And let me tell you, this film probably will and should get nominated for the Oscars music section. And if it doesn't, then there's just a big problem with the Oscars this year. Now, there were a few moments where I went, that really wasn't necessary. And it's the main one, and they all tie to each other, but the main reason is actually the film starts off very slow. It starts off, for the first 10-15 minutes, you're not sure if the movie's gonna get going. You know, it does get you worried at the very beginning, but let me tell you, after that, it does get straight into the film. So yeah, the boringness actually comes from that moment, the first 15 minutes when the film is still building up. So yeah, the first 15 minutes of the movie, honestly, I wouldn't blame you if you went and got popcorn during those first 15 minutes, because nothing happens. Now, speaking about the negatives, this film had one very big problem, and that's that it felt very blocky. It felt like little short stories. Alright, from the very beginning, the filmmaker actually gives us a chance to see the backstory of each and every song, each and every moment in the film. But the problem was, it felt like it was one single story about, say, Bohemian Rhapsody, the song, and then they cut to the way they made a different song, and then the reason they did this and the reason they did that, and it just felt like a few short stories cobbled together with a thin wire. It did not feel natural. They could have done that a little bit more naturally to make it an actual coherent story, but besides that, there's not much else I can criticize. So hey, if you're just looking for a fun time at the movies, just sit back and watch and enjoy the music with some nuance. It is a very nuanced film with very emotional aspects to it. And if you're just looking for that fun time, let me tell you, this is a great movie to watch.